What's good, YouTube? Back with another video. In this video, I'm gonna be talking about why your mix probably sounds good in your ears but bad everywhere else. If you had this issue just like me back in the day, you probably wondered, damn, why does my mix sound so good in my ears when you have your headphones in like these ones, but when you go to your car or on your phone, anywhere really, it sounds horrible. So I'm gonna show you 5 ways how to fix that in this video. So stick to the end, subscribe, like, comment if you actually mess with it. Anyways, get to number 1. Now, number 1 is how your room is set up, room acoustics. Now, in my room right now, usually when I mix, I don't really mix in my room. I work at a recording studio, and I might just put a picture up right here. But anyways though, when you are mixing and mastering on speakers in your room, like something like this, I have no acoustic treating. That can mess up your mix for sure. Like, you won't know what it actually sounds like because of how your room is actually set up. So now think about it like this. When your room is set up with no acoustics, imagine all the echo that's going through, the low end that you are missing, the low end that is overly prominent in your mix. This is things that you cannot fix when you have an untreated room because you do not know what you're actually fixing. So way to combat this is honestly using Sound ID reference. This is not no sponsor. Hopefully they can't sponsor me if they do see this, but Sound ID reference basically, like, you can kind of see what your mix is missing if you have an untreated room. And again, also using headphones that you really trust too. I got the Audio Technicas, they're kind of messed up, but they still work for me for sure. I use those mostly when I'm mixing beats, but when I really want to mix a song, I just go to the studio. I think I showed a picture before, but yeah, bro, that's the best way I can actually combat that for sure, and probably how y'all could combat it as well. Sound ID reference, definitely a good one right there. Now the second one should be pretty easy and straightforward. I feel like most engineers know how important this is. You're mixing too loud, which causes ear fatigue. Now, ear fatigue is a real thing. If you mix for more than 2 hours in loud volume, your ear is gonna get compressed. And that's a fact right there. Like, I used to mix on loud volume all the time, and it got to a point where I could even tell if the mix was good or not. And that's when you start second guessing yourself. Now, when you're mixing too loud, you won't even know how bad your mix really is until the next day. Like, for instance, you will mix for 2 hours, 3 hours, and even an hour on loud volume. The next day, you'll be like, damn, my vocals are way too high. Damn, the high end is too crazy. Damn, the 808s are way too loud. Your leveling is all messed up because your ears are literally protecting itself. It's compressing itself. You're making decisions after hours of listening. Now, when you listen to a song, repeat on loud volume, you make decisions based off of what you hear. But if you fix something in the first 20 minutes and then go an hour and a half later and fix the same exact thing, it's gonna be different no matter how you think of it, and it might not be better. So what you need to do generally is just figure it out. Don't mix too loud, and take some time when you're mixing. It does not have to be all in one day. I say spin them up into 2 mixing sessions. Maybe you can mix the vocals, or maybe you can level it first and then mix it after. It really doesn't matter. Just make sure that your ears are actually ready for listening. Now, number 3 is having a reference track. Now, this is very important as well, especially if you're mixing or new to mixing. When I was new to mixing, for sure, I love using reference tracks, especially for songs that sound kind of similar. You could kind of reverse engineer a lot of the bigger engineers. So if you were to hear a Lil Durk song, Drake song, and you can kind of see what type of effects the engineers put on their songs, so you kind of use it as a reference. This will for sure make you a better engineer just because you will learn so many different effects and tactics from these other people while using a reference track. And this definitely made me a better engineer as well. Most people skip this step, and they definitely pay for it in the long run because you will learn so many different things that you would have never ever thought would even be real. For instance, a lot of engineers use their own tactics, and with the years of experience, like I'm talking 20 years of experience, they have their own type of style of engineering and how they use effects. So now imagine you were to take one song where they use that effect and you reverse engineer that one. That's what using a reference track will do for you. And honestly, I think it's a great idea. I feel like you guys definitely should use a reference track when you're mixing, and that would definitely make you a better mixer. Do not skip out on that step for sure, because that right there is real sauce. And also, before going to number 4, y'all gotta follow me after that one for sure. I'm definitely giving y'all too much game. Subscribe, like, comment, send it to your friend that wants to be an engineer as well. But anyways, let's get to number 4. Number 4 is mono compatibility. Now, when I say mono compatibility, if you guys do not know what that means, there's mono and stereo. So now obviously there is Dolby Atmos as well. We're not talking about that though. Mono is basically what will happen if you're listening on your phone speaker. So if you get a good mono mix, then that can kind of ensure that it will sound good, at least on mono devices. So now mostly everything is stereo, but there's still something that are in mono. And if you get level good on mono, your track is definitely on the right path. I remember the legendary Mix by Ali said that he used to mix on one speaker. Now, when he mixed on one speaker, obviously that would be on mono. and he'll finish the full track on one speaker and then after that level out in stereo. That was because if it sounds good on one speaker, it'll sound good everywhere. And it is definitely easier to level too, for sure, in my experience, when you do mix on one speaker, or if you do check it in mono, because you know what's too loud and too quiet, you know what's fighting each other as well. So yeah, definitely try mixing in mono, or at least testing it out in mono before you actually export it and send it to a client, or if you're an artist yourself. Now the fifth and final one is how you are mastering your track. Now most people, I'm not gonna lie, including myself sometimes, mixes a track, add the God particle, and it's done. And if you're on FL Studio, I don't know what you add, but it's probably not an actual mastering chain. Now what you don't realize is that if you don't have a good mastering chain, as well as, you know, a dynamic EQ, compression, it's a whole bunch of stuff for mastering, your track is probably gonna sound horrible when it gets to actual streaming services. Now this is something you definitely need to realize for sure, because this will definitely affect how good your track is when you're actually listening to it in different places. For instance, in the car, on a different monitoring system, on your phone, AirPods. Your mastering comes down to all of that. So I suggest you start getting into mastering. If you want a video on how I master my tracks, definitely comment down below. But definitely learn how to actually master and like get familiar with all the plugins and tools for mixing and mastering for sure. That would definitely get your actual song sounding really good on everything. As well as when you're mixing and mastering, make sure you listen to it in the car, listen to it on your iPhone, listen to it on speakers, listen to it everywhere. That's the best way you actually can ensure that you definitely know what you're doing, especially when you're starting out too. Definitely if you have AirPods, headphones, anything. After you mix, send it to your AirPods, and that's gonna show you what you're missing out, what you could do better, and then go back to Pro Tools, FL Studio, and mix it again until it's good. That's gonna teach you everything for sure, especially going to the car as well. That's definitely what taught me how to get better at mixing and mastering. But anyways though, if you like this video, definitely give me a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, do all of that. There's gonna be way more videos coming out real soon. I'm trying to grind for this account to go up. Also follow me on Instagram, Faisal made this, you want more content. Anyways though, I'm gonna see you on the next video. Peace.